Alright, I'm just gonna do a quick video because I got tired of doing my exam studying. So I'll just make up something. 3m plus 6 7n minus 4m. Alright, so this is algebraic expansion. I'll put the title up here. I basically just want to go over like the step-by-step process that you should go through when you're doing any question like this. I really like the way that you laid it out actually, so I'm going to copy that because I think it makes it easier to understand. So I'll just grab my highlighter here. So your first step is you're going to look at your first term on the left-hand side set of brackets, and you're going to multiply it. Let me go red. You're going to multiply it by both terms of the second bracket. But what I want you to take notice of, which you missed once, is you need to look at this whole thing, including the subtraction sign. So if this was a plus instead, you look at the whole thing including the plus sign, right, for the second term, because it completely changes the way that you end up with an answer. So let's follow this first line up here, right? So we've got 3m, I'll go back to blue, 3m times 7n equals 21, because we multiply these 3 and 7, and then we multiply the m and the n, right? And then we're going to go for our next step, so this bottom one, and remember we're multiplying by the whole second term, so negative 4m. And when we do this, we put brackets around it, so 3m times negative 4m equals, again, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, and then m times m is m squared, right? Now, I'm going to erase all of this mess. We've done our first two terms out the way. We can cross out this, and now we're going to go 6n, our second term. We're going to go multiplied by 7n, and then multiplied by negative 4m. So 6n times 7n equals 6 times 7 is 42. N times n is n squared. And then 6n times negative 4m brackets. 6 times negative 4, negative 24. N times m, mn. Right? So now we've got our four terms. 2, 3, 4. Now what we do is we lay them out next to each other. So 42 n squared, negative 12 m squared, 21 mn, negative 24 mn. And we're going to try identify any like terms. So like terms is when you have things like this, mn and mn, that match each other, right? So we can combine these, because this is basically saying the same. If you combine mn's, or different color, if you combine mn into one thing, it's basically saying the same as we have 21 apples. Where's green? 21 apples, and we have minus 24 apples. Right? Like, you have a certain amount of something and you're taking away a certain amount of something, which obviously equals negative 3 apples. I'm not going to bother draw. Actually, no. I'll draw one more scuffed apple. Right? But then with these ones, this is like you have oranges and this is like you have pears, right? If you have 6 pears and you take away 24 apples, you don't have negative 18 something. You just have 6 pears and negative 24 apples. So you keep them separate if you can't combine them. So knowing that, we're going to keep them separate, right? So we've got our pears, 42n squared, minus 12m squared. And then now we have our apples, and we can combine them. So we get minus 3mn. And that's our final answer. And since you have multi-choice, sometimes they're going to be in different orders, but it doesn't matter. Like it could be negative 12m squared plus 42n squared minus 3mn. And it's in a different order, so it looks a little bit different. But if you break it down, you have your negative 12m squared, your 42n squared, and your negative 3mn. And those are the 3 terms that you're looking for in your answer. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense.